And now, it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, rock cod Rick Maxa, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. And Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray and rock cod Rick Maxa.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. No Pete Gray today. As we heard yesterday, he is up at Katmai enjoying an awesome trip, and hopefully we'll look forward to hearing from him. But boy, do we have a great one show to you. Captain Drew Card from the Pacific Queen is going to be joining us. Lots of fun today, talking all kinds of fishing. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
Shimano is proud to present an opportunity for you to go fishing on two of the finest three-quarter-day boats on the fleet and use the top-of-the-line Shimano gear. It's Terramar Tuesday, going on now through September. Join Shimano Pro staff aboard the San Diego out of Seaport Sport Fishing, and coming in June, the new Liberty from Fisherman's Landing. These trips will be booked through the landing and it's the same price as a regular three-quarter-day trip, but the difference will be a selection of top-of-the-line Shimano Terramar rods and reels will be available for you to try, along with an assortment of Shimano jigs and more. And a member of the Shimano Pro staff will be aboard to answer questions you may have. Terramar Tuesdays will feature Shimano Terramar rods with Trinidad A, Torium HG, Tranks, and Talica reels available for you to try for free. Don't miss Terramar Tuesday on the San Diego out of Seaport Sport Fishing and beginning June 7th aboard the Liberty from Fisherman's Landing. Check the landing website for more details or the trips page at hookup1090.com.
Pete here. I was fortunate enough to use the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 touchscreen chart plotter and sonar unit on my boat this summer and fall. And let me say, it's truly incredible. With an easy-to-use tablet-style interface that's fresh but familiar, the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 combines a multi-touch screen with push-to-select rotary dial for precision control and speedy response. As for marking schools of tuna, yellowtail, and more, it's the best. You run over a school, and there they are in full color and high definition. The new NSS Evo 2 built-in sonar technology, including chirp and structure scan, can't be beat. I recently added the Simrad AP24 autopilot to my system. I've had other autopilots before, but I can tell you this one is simple, sensitive, and accurate. It integrates with my Simrad NSS Evo 2. I set a waypoint, touch the screen, and the boat steers to that spot. There's a lot more to the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 system and AP24 autopilot I'd like to tell you, but best just go to your local Simrad dealer or see simrad-yachting.com for more details. Last year we had an unbeatable fishing season. One of the best in decades. I think we'll all take another year just like it. Now, just imagine what it could be like if we have an unbeatable season 39 years in a row. Well, that's exactly what Ford has done with their F-Series pickups. America's best-selling trucks 39 years in a row. We love our F-150s here in San Diego. Ford trucks give you the freedom to launch your boat with ease thanks to Pro Trailer Backup Assist. The freedom to toss all your gear in the bed no matter how wet and messy it gets. And the freedom to fit 5 full-size guys comfortably in the cab. And right now, during the Ford Freedom Sales Event, you'll get the freedom from interest charges with Ford's best finance rate of the year. Freedom from high monthly payments thanks to special summer lease programs, plus the freedom to save even more on trucks with smart bonus tags. It's an incredible combination of savings on an incredible lineup of trucks. So don't miss the Ford Freedom Sales Event. Stop by your San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090. Who said earlier, Pete not joining us this morning because he is up at that Katmai trip with the gang from Let's Talk Hookup, and I'm sure having a great time, and we'll look forward to hearing from him later in the show, but definitely stoked to have Captain Drew from the Pacific Queen join us this morning. What's up, Drew?
Morning, Rick. How's it going?
It's going good, man. Very, very glad to have you. This is a busy time of year, and we kind of talked about it yesterday. It seems like this week is a really good time where our traditional season was kind of finally getting rolling. Like, it's been crazy seeing all this giant bluefin, and boy, nobody has been on it like you guys in the Pacific Queen with all those giant fish. But seems like this has been that week where the switch is kind of turned on for the rest of the year, the filler fish, and there's now you hear about the trophy bluefin still around, and there's yellows on kelps and yellowfin down the beach. And it seems like this was the time when things really got going for us.
Yeah, it definitely seems like things are starting to take shape here. There's, quite a bit of yellowfin starting to flow in on dolphin, and there's yellowtail on kelps. There's obviously that bluefin that's been here for, I guess, a few months now. That's just been insane. And that yellowfin's not biting super well yet, but it seems like every day is a little bit better. There's a fair amount of hits, I wouldn't say hits, but pretty good scores that came in this weekend. And I think things are definitely starting to take shape. But, any day now somebody's going to actually call in with a hit, and have a really good score on that.
Stuck with us.
Yeah. And once that yellowfin settles in, I think we're in good shape. It's going to be a good season.
It sounds like too that everything is a good grade of fish too. Like all of it. It's not the 5-pound footballs. I mean, it didn't sound. I think we're jaded because we're so used to seeing, and we'll talk more about it. But we're so used to seeing that trophy isn't even the word for the size of bluefin that we've been catching. But it's all nice sized fish that's down the beach on those kelps. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's all nice grade fish, but for the most part, it's nice grade fish. I mean, there's like a mix. We're seeing some small fish, some of that real small micro yellowtail. I'd say 1 to 5 pounds. But then what we're catching or keeping anyway, for the most part, is like 15 to 30 pounds. So I'd say for an offshore yellowtail, it's as good as you're gonna get. So yellowfin is, I'd say 10 to 15 pounds. Obviously, earlier in the year, we were catching some better ones, some 50 pounders. 50-plus pounders. There's some of that better grade around. We're not seeing as much, but what we're seeing coming in, and the volume, what we're seeing is probably 10 to 15 pounds. I'm sure there's some better grade mixed in with that, but that's mostly what we're catching right now.
That's cool, man. That's very cool. And like you say, this is seems like the tip of the iceberg. Everything seems to be filtering in, and every day you hear those. First, there was some yellows on kelps, and now you're starting to hear about guys having good scores, and then limits, and then they're filling in with yellowfin, and then some grotto. It's just, this is a fun time of year for it.
Yeah, and we're at that time of year where it's the beginning of July. Things have sort of backed off from at least what we were kind of experiencing. Obviously, it was a different kind of fishing, but it was kind of full speed and really good fishing. And it's not anything different than a normal year. This is more just like a normal year where yellowfin's starting to filter in, yellowtail on kelps, and I think we're in store for a good season. Obviously with that bluefin around, every day there's a shot at a cow or a fish over 100 or just a serious trophy. So to have that also, it's pretty special.
Crazy. Just touch on what a crazy season it has been for you and Gavin and all the boys on the boat. I mean, every single time the lines got kicked off from the Queen, there's a legitimate shot at a 200-pounder, and you guys made it happen time and time again. I mean, it's wild.
Yeah, I was kind of looking back, over looking at my pictures and stuff over the last couple months, I guess it is, and just to see how many 100-pounders. I mean, I think they came in this morning with 2 more. I don't know how many it's been, but it's been like somewhere between 15 and 18. Over 100 pounds, probably. Crazy. Actually, it's probably been about 18, and then we've had 2 over 200. So,
it's a good trip to Clarion.
It's just. I can't remember. I can remember a time 100 pounders, but I can't remember a time where there was a chance to basically go out your backyard and catch 200-pound bluefin, and they're there.
And those are the ones you caught. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, we all know when you're hooking fish that big on any trip. I mean, including going down on the Royal Polaris, targeting 200-pounders at Hurricane Bank. I mean, you have to. That's just the nature of the beast. You have to go through several of them before one makes it onto the boat. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, and not to mention that when we caught those 200-pounders, the way we were catching them was with a long rod and a popper.
Yeah, a piece of plastic with treble hooks on it.
So
not
now,
a high percentage.
Now you're making it even tougher.
Yeah, totally.
And I think on that trip they had 7 or 8 hookups, and they got the 2 over 2. They had a 207 and a 204.
Right.
So, I mean, just out of control.
Cool. That's super
insane
cool.
fishing.
It's been a lot of fun. Well, tell us a little bit about the Queen. I mean, I know that a very popular boat, and we talk about it all the time on the show. We love hearing from you on the show. But for the guys that haven't rode the boat before, tell us a little bit about the boat, the type of trips that you do, that kind of stuff. What goes on the Queen?
All right. Well, the Queen is it's an 85 by 22 foot sport fishing boat, I guess you'd call it. It's an older boat. It's been around for, I think, as a sport fishing boat for 50 or 60 years. It's been around forever. As far as deck space, I think it's got one of the best deck spaces. Huge. As far as an open party boat in the fleet. And as far as trips we do anything from like a 1 day to we do a 3.5 day every year. So mainly, it's summertime, middle of the year, we're doing a lot of more 2 and 2.5 day trips to kind of give us a range of fishing options. And then more in the winter and spring and fall, we're doing more 1.5 days just because that's more popular.
Sure.
Gets everybody out there. So, we do just a range of different trips. We take 6 crew members. We sleep a bunch of people, and we have a lot of fun.
Well, one thing, too, you definitely have a lot of fun, and that's one of the really unique and very cool things about riding the boat with you is you have a really, really good group of guys who work for you. Everybody's very young, super enthusiastic. Those guys on your boat live it and breathe it. And we always crack up in the tackle store because I swear those poor guys don't ever go home with any side money because every time that boat comes in, the whole crew is up buying poppers and jigs. And, like, you can tell, like, the guys that work for you, they live it and breathe it, man.
I got an incredible crew, and
yeah,
I feel really stoked. I mean, every one of those guys is a fisherman, like an absolute fisherman in every sense of the word. They get in from their half days in, and they get on their skiff and go fish for halibut and bass in the bay, or they go out and try and catch yellowtail coastally here, locally, and then or they go out and try and catch a bluefin. I mean, they're in it.
Crazy.
There's no days off for them. They get in and they go fishing. That's what they do. So I'm really stoked with what I got. I feel really really fortunate, and they're doing a great job.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, it's a lot of fun, and it's been fun. It's been fun getting to see those guys because you can tell that they're as stoked about being there, as I'm sure as you are for having them. Well, hey, let's go live on the water real quick. We got Captain Mike Pritchard from the Tribute calling us this morning. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, guys. Morning, Drew. I just wanted to check in here. Second day of a 2-day trip. We were down the beach fishing that nice great yellowtail and yellowfin yesterday, and we made a obscenely long move. There's choppy weather down there. Made a 100-mile move up here just outside the 302, and we have 11 of that nice great bluefin on the boat this morning. We still have one hanging, and the sign of fish is ridiculous. Just like Drew was saying, I mean, it's this bluefin's still here. Trying to get him to bite is a different thing altogether. I'm going to let you guys go. We do have the kite up, and we do still have fishing, and we will be out. We do have 3 one-day trips scheduled throughout the week if you'd like to try to come out and catch one of these things.
That's awesome. Like, wow, how about that for a grade of fish? That's awesome. Well, congrats, and, we'll certainly let you get...
These ones are small ones, comparatively speaking, 70 to 110 pounds.
Oh, yeah, those little stock grade little guys.
Bummer.
Well, Mike, that's awesome.
We had a really light charter group. We only had 20 guys on here, and at one point we had almost everybody on the boat hanging a fish. So really, really good fishing, and we hope to check back with you guys later. Have a good Sunday.
All right, Mike. Thanks a lot for that, boy. And there you go. I mean, that's the type of season that this has been on, where you don't know if the next day is going to be big ones like that, and even just being prepared gear wise has been kind of crazy this year. And from catching them on poppers, and I know one thing that you guys, or at least the boys in the shop, that's one of the reasons I was saying about the crew is those guys have been big on getting flat falls and things like that this year. Lots of different ways you've been catching that big fish.
Oh yeah, I mean, one thing for sure is they're trying every way possible to get one. I mean, we're flying kites, we're trolling kites, we got helium balloons. I mean, I came down to the boat the other day, and there's about 15 frozen flying fish in there. They're definitely. I mean, if they're gonna bite, they're gonna bite. The day we're out, because they're definitely
boys are working at it.
Yeah, they're working at it. So, it's just that thing. They're there. They're there, and we see them every trip. But it's just a matter of them getting on the boat.
That you bring up a really good point there too. And that's the other thing with this big fish is it's trophy hunting. I mean, and it is. It's just like long range fishing, and long range fishing is different than going on a 3-day or 5-day. I mean, you're working very hard at the bite and at the fish of a lifetime, and that's how this is. I mean, it's the cliche thing to see, but you have to be stoked with just being. You have to be stoked with the opportunity first, and then if that opportunity happens for you, then it's just a crazy bonus.
I mean, you think of those 2 we had over 200, right? we had 2 over 200, and there was like 20 guys on the trip. So 18 of those guys didn't catch a fish. We only had 2 fish that trip.
But everybody's high-fiving.
But, man, it's a 200-pounder.
Yeah,
I mean, just to be able to see that. I mean, you know, it's and it's a bluefin. You know, like you could go down to the dock in the winter and see, you know, 200-pounders almost all day long, you know, from a long-range boat that's coming down from down below. But 200-pound bluefin that was caught, you know, 20 to 40 miles from home. It's just
so cool.
It's unheard. It's just insane. It's just like when he called and said, "Hey, we got 2 on the boat. We got 1 over 2." I thought he was, you know, lying to me. I was like, "No, you don't." And actually, he had him taped out like a little off. He had one at like 195, and that was the first one he called. He's like, "Well, we got one at 195," and I'm like, "No way!" He's just freaking out. I'm so stoked for you. That's awesome. Calls me like 10 minutes later. The other one's 210. I'm like, you're messing with me. There's no way they got a 210. He's all, I swear. And he had to like talk me into it. Like, hey, we really got this on the boat.
Now, is that the biggest fish for the Queen?
Well, I mean, who knows?
Sure, yeah,
I mean,
sure.
You know, I know Eddie used to target those things down at Guadalupe, but for me, yes.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of awesome, I mean, this season is going that way. The fishing's going that way, and boy, do we have an awesome show for you as well. Going to be a lot of fun. If you want to join us this morning, it's going to be a very busy morning. We're stoked to have Drew in here talking all kinds of fishing with us for the day. If you want to give us a call, the best way to reach us is with our local line, 858 area code 457-1090. That's the number. Again, 858-457-1090. Best way to reach us right now. Or you can get us on our toll-free number, that toll-free line, 877-792-1090. Again, 877-792-1090. Just like yesterday, that toll-free line having a little bit of difficulties there, but plenty of shots to get through and just about all full right now. So a little bit of patience when you're calling that toll-free number. Again, 877-792-1090. Not only are we going to be talking all kinds of fishing, talking great times on the Pacific Queen, Drew has also hooked us up with an awesome prize. One lucky caller at the end of the show today is going to get to go fishing and get in on all that action we've been talking about. Somebody's going on a day-and-a-half trip aboard the Queen this year. Totally stoked on that, Drew, and that was really cool of you guys to do, and I know somebody's going to be really excited to go fishing on the Queen. Again, if you want to get through, 858-457-1090 or 877-792-1090. And when we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls. Lots of great information coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
Looking for a new exciting fishing excursion this year? Come to Cedros Island for a kayak trip. Cedros Tackle is pleased to announce the completion of their newly built casita. Enjoy their beautiful secluded home with all the comforts you would expect from a high-end resort, including single occupancy rooms and filtered water. All tours will use Hobie Outback kayaks with bait tanks, fish finder, and VHF radios to ensure a great experience on Cedros Island. Travel light and leave your tackle at home if you'd like, as Cedros Tackle has a fully outfitted tackle shop, including top-of-the-line rental gear, which includes Phoenix rods and Daiwa reels. After a long day on the water, enjoy delicious local cuisine prepared by staff, while you sit by the fire and enjoy the views of Mount Cedros. If you dream of catching a 10-pound calico bass or 40-pound yellowtail, Cedros Tackle will put you right in the spots where you'll be casting at fish that may have never seen a jig before. Come join Jeff, Omar, and the gang for a beautiful trip on Cedros Island. Visit the website at cedrostackle.com for more information and to book your trip.
Fisherman's Landing is the top choice in local and long-range fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern. Our hardworking crew is always looking for ways to improve your fishing experience. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. We are proud to say Fisherman's Landing is now a full-service sport fishing operation, offering half-day trips on the Dolphin, and now, for the first time in the long history of Fisherman's Landing, we have 3-quarter-day open party trips on the Liberty. We built the Liberty specifically to offer a better experience. Run by veteran captain Taro Takeuchi, the 85-foot Liberty is the first open party 3-quarter-day boat to offer bunks for your comfort. She also has huge bait capacity and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Plus, Liberty has a big galley and 2 interior heads with showers. Our open party trips from half-day, 3-quarter-day, or 1 to 3 day trips can be easily booked online online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
If you're not wearing Maui Jim sunglasses, you're missing plenty. This is Captain Paul Hebert from the Wicked Pisser. Fact is, I wouldn't go fishing with any other sunglasses than Maui Jim. When I wear them, the ocean's true colors come shining through with more contrast and clarity. When it's time to harpoon a big bluefin, I see that fish clearly at that critical time. Maui Jim, seeing is believing. Take it from us on the Wicked Pisser. Try a pair at your local tackle shops or check out MauiJim.com.
It's big, it's comfortable, and she is beautiful. The state-of-the-art long-range sport fishing vessel, the Independence. Veteran captains Mark Paisano and Paul Strasser built this incredible 112-foot vessel with the most modern technology and luxurious comfort available. Captain Jeff Dubois has helped make the Independence a top-notch operation. Call Independence Sport Fishing at 619-226-6006 or check the availability on spring, summer, and fall trips now at IndependenceSportFishing.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Phones are definitely packed up. Everybody's excited to talk to Drew, and we're going to do just that. Jump right into him. Start it off up at Woodland Hills. I'm going to talk to Don. Don, good morning. Thanks for getting us started here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, guys, good morning. Awesome stuff going on right now on the water. Hey,
cool.
Hey, Drew, I'm heading out on the Pacific Queen a week from this Tuesday on a 2.5-day trip.
Okay.
And with that big bluefin, I wanted to pick your brain ahead of time as to what's the rig I need to have sitting in the rack just in case we come across one of those big fish.
Well, I would say things are changing a lot right now, so you could definitely get away with a little bit smaller gear than what we've been fishing. I would say 60, 80 pound on a little bit shorter, stouter rod than, say, what we've been doing with the poppers. And I would definitely have a flat fall hooked up, rigged up, especially for the dark. It seems like, at least in the last couple of days, guys have been getting a little bit of a snap on those things in the dark with a flat fall. I would say during the day, like if you do have a long rod, I would probably have a popper rigged up just because. And then you got, maybe like a same thing, 50, 60 pound rod set up with just with a hook. For fishing a sardine or a mackerel or whatever we have, for fishing a bait stop. It hasn't been a lot of fish on bait. I would say, like I said, things are kind of changing in the last, I would say, week. There's been a couple fish caught on bait. I wouldn't say that it's been, it hasn't been like, a bunch of fish on bait,
Sure.
Maybe one or two. But
enough that a guy should be prepared for it.
And like, we have heavy gear on the boat. We have like kite rod set up, all the heavy stuff for, fishing off the kite and balloons and stuff, and we're fishing with like 150 pound and 200 pound. So we're set up there, and then we'll go through the rotation. Then you can have a chance with that gear. But if you have your own gear and you want to rig it up,
Sure.
for that, then you can bring that as well. But just like run of the mill, what you normally have on a 2.5 day, I'd say anywhere from 50 to 80 pound. I'd have a flat fall, I'd have a popper, one set up for bait, and then just have your normal, 25 to 40 pound stuff.
For your kelp-patty yellow.
Yeah,
awesome.
Stuff. Cool. Well, you ready for your trip, Don?
Hey, man, I've been ready, and I just booked 2 others on the Queen later this year, so
All right.
Looking forward to it.
Perfect. That's awesome, Don. We appreciate the phone call very much. Thanks a lot. Good luck on your trip. All right, let's jump right back in and talk to Dan. Dan called us from San Diego this morning. Hi, Dan. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. Quick question kind of related to that last question. That gear that you talk about rotating through, do you also have rental gear?
The landing has rental gear, and I'm sure Rick would know probably a little better. They have everything. From 20 pound or 25 pound on up, I believe, all the way up to probably heavy gear.
One cool thing about, if you were going on the Queen and you did need to rent gear from the landing is, Fisherman's Landing obviously has trips that, go from half days to 18-day trips and gear rental for everything in between. So
okay.
This big fish is one of those things that fortunately is not something that, catches the rental department on board. And the gear's really good. I mean, it's all CalStar and Seeker rods, and, there's 2 full-time employees that do nothing but maintain and keep that gear perfect. So, yeah, from 25-pound bait outfits and then, narrow 4.0s with 50-pound, and then 2-speeds with, 2-speed reels with 50 and 60-pound, all the way up to, international style 2-speeds, So yeah, if gear is something needed to be rented, it's not an issue, and I think, like you said, with the kite gear, that's just on the boat all the time.
Yeah, and they're constantly going through it. It's all in, good shape, although it's used. And we're using it a lot, but I mean, what we have on the boat is anything you would need or better.
I don't think that I definitely don't think the lack of having big fish gear should ever slow you down from going, because there's a lot of opportunities, whether it be loaner gear on the boats that you're going on or gear from the tackle store. I mean, you definitely don't necessarily need to run out and buy a $1,000 outfit just at a shot.
Right.
And frankly, a lot of these big ones are caught on what really is inappropriately sized tackle. I mean, a lot of these big ones are being caught on 40-pound gear and 50-pound gear, and they are still bluefin, and a lot of those fish that were caught on the popper. I mean, if you came into the tackle store and said, I want to get the perfect outfit for catching a 200-pounder, well, that's a Talica 50 and a 7-foot rail rod. The problem is you're not casting a popper on an outfit like that. So
right now it's a 10-foot rod and a Talica 12.
Yeah, exactly.
and a lot of luck.
Yeah, I just don't want to. I don't need to buy a big setup if I'm only going to use it, a few times.
I would just say, come out with what you would normally come out with, and then if you wanted to rent maybe one setup from the tackle shop or from the landing, then I would go for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then a lot of what we're catching, like I said, right now is stuff on boat rods. Right? Most everything lately has been on boat rods. I think that's going to change as they get a little more willing to bite a bait. Guys are going to have more of their own setups because it's not going to be all on bait. But at least for right now, a lot of what's being caught is, either on a kite or trolling a flyer or, a balloon or something like that right now.
Okay.
Or a popper, for that matter.
I think it's so cool that you guys put in that much effort for it, because, I mean, that part's not easy. It's definitely a lot easier to go out and whatever, you set up on a school or make a drift and just fish baits, but I mean that amount of effort is not seen by everybody, and my hat's off to you guys, because it's fishing balloons and kites. The other thing that probably us as anglers don't realize, because it's more behind the scenes for you, but it takes multiple guys out of your team to do that. It takes
it does.
guys to fly it and fish the gear, and that means instead of there being 6 guys that you're working with, now there's only 4 guys that have to not pick up the slack because they're all working for it, but that's a lot of work.
Oh, it's a lot of work. I mean, it takes 2 guys to get out the kite. If you're doing a balloon, it's probably 1 guy, but it's a lot of work. A lot of times we're trolling the kite. Yeah. I mean, I was talking to Gavin this morning. I'm like, oh, you're stoked. They're biting a little bit today. It's going to be good weather this week. He's like, I'd rather have some wind, so I can get the kite up. He was telling me how he's trying to fly the thing and, troll it into a school yesterday or the day before with no wind. He said it was almost impossible.
Yeah,
so
it sucks.
So having wind is good. It's kind of a different, when we're targeting those, and we're targeting those primarily, it's kind of a whole different ballgame.
Different deal.
Yeah.
It's exciting, though. You ready to go, Dan?
Yeah, I am.
All right.
Most definitely.
Appreciate
Thanks so much.
And it's one of those things. Thanks very much for the call. And it's one of those things, too, that you got to go give it a shot. Because this is kind of never happened before. And who knows if we'll ever get an opportunity again. So I encourage you so much if you want to go, just to see it. If you catch one, even cooler. But
if you want to, I mean, it's incredible.
It is.
And it's like, heart-stopping, just like, whoa. We had a video. I think you've seen the video of one of those things blowing up on a popper. It's on our Instagram account, Pacific Queen Sport Fishing, so you can check it out that way. We have it on our Facebook page. But the video it's out of control.
I think I've watched it, I don't know, maybe 4,000 or 5,000
times. Oh, it blew up.
Yeah.
I think
it's so cool.
It had like 20,000 views in like a couple days. But it's just to see those fish blowing up, 200-plus pounders blowing up on a popper like that, so close to the boat, well, it just drives you up a wall.
There was somebody filming from up top, right?
Somebody was filming from the bridge as they were throwing poppers, and there's one at least that they hook that probably jumps out of the water 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, trying
to
eat
the whole
popper.
fish. Yeah, and
in grease calm.
Yeah.
Purple blue water and just head and tail out of the water at the same time, doing a backflip trying to eat this popper.
The video is I don't know how they got it. Such a good video,
so
and
good.
It's on a camera phone. It's amazing.
And how big was the fish?
That was one of the 200-pounders. That was like a 204 or 207. I don't know which one it was, but it was one of those big ones.
You got to go look. So if you're out there listening, go on that Pacific Queen Facebook page or Instagram account. And one more time, how would we find that?
I guess just go on Instagram if you have it. I think you can probably check it out if you don't have it. And it's Pacific Queen Sport Fishing. Our Facebook page, the same thing, Pacific Queen Sport Fishing. And as I post stuff on both of them all the time, kind of show everybody what's going on. My Instagram page, because I've only started it like in January, is pretty much just all big bluefin, so it's pretty cool to look at anyway.
Cool to watch.
But there's some cool stuff on there.
That's awesome. All right, well, let's jump back into the phones. Talk to Jeff. Jeff's calling us from Costa Mesa this morning. What's up, Jeff? Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Rick. Good morning, Drew.
Morning.
How you doing,
Rick,
Jeff?
you probably know the question I'm going to ask him. It's probably coming. It's about the Coca-Cola cooler, if it's still on the boat.
Yeah, it's still there.
Still in fine operation. Okay. I had my tackle question pretty much answered there. About 25 years ago, we got in a big bluefin bite. It was a 2.5-day trip, though. We were on the Queen, and we got some. The biggest one was 180 pounds. Oof. And I think Eddie had said back then those were the biggest fish biggest bluefin that he'd ever put on the boat. Captain Bluefin, Captain Midnight. And anyway, I think you've broken the record for the boat. Put it that way.
Well, I wouldn't know for sure, but if we've broken it, I would say that's pretty
cool.
rad. Because there's a lot of fishing time on that boat, a lot of experience there, and that boat's seen a lot of fish in a lot of different places. And if we've broken it, then that's pretty rad.
It took me a second, Jeff, but you're right. I can remember Jeff asking about the Coca-Cola cooler for. I've been doing Let's Talk Hookup for a couple of years now, and I can remember Jeff asking that question for at least the boat changing hands that many times, all the way back to Eddie and Sam and Brian, and the boat's had some pretty rad history and done some pretty cool things, and it's really cool watching it continue to do so. I mean, I know all those guys that have been so successful in front of you are really stoked to see the boat doing as good as it is now.
Well, the cooler's still there. The insides have been changed out a few times, at least since I've been there. Actually, I had to pull it out the other day, not for the cooler, but for something else. But, it's still there.
All good, Jeff.
Hopefully it doesn't fall apart.
Thanks a lot for the phone call.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much. Hey, let's find out what's going on down south. It's time to go to Rancho Leonero, and Gary Barnes-Webb is on the line right now. What's up, Gary?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, well, I tell you what, it's explosive down here. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but the marlin bite is unbelievable. It's truly the best week we've had this year. A lot of stripers. The blue marlin are in the mix now, so it's pretty common to have multiple stripers and a blue on the boat. Excellent time to be down here. Unbelievable marlin bite.
That's awesome.
I was looking at the terrafin. I don't know if you guys have looked at the sea surface temperatures. We have some very, very distinct temperature breaks that you can work right now. I mean, the dramatic change is from like low 80s to really high 80s. It'd be an excellent time to get out there and fish the temperature breaks. We also had a tuna bite pop up right outside in front of Rancho Leonero this week, about less than a mile out. Anglers were boating mostly medium, small fish. And also in the mix, there were a lot of wahoo out there, so it seemed ridiculous that you had that such good fishing so close, but anyhow, we saved a lot of gas.
That's a good thing.
There were bigger tuna outside. It was a slower bite, The boats were finding good schools of porpoise, working them really hard and picking off a fish here and a fish there. It was a tough decision to make to go and take that on because it was pretty slow on the outside. But it was made up for with the fish on the inside. There've been dorado all the way from the lighthouse to Los Frailes. Some nice big fish this week, mostly small schooling fish, but there were a few whoppers in the mix, so that bodes well for the tournament coming up this week. Rooster fish, I reckon this was the best week we've had yet this whole year. I mean, they were just awesome fish taken every day, and in no particular place. They were all along the beaches, all the way from Los Barriles way down to Frailes. You could pick your spot. They're really, really good fish in the 60 to 70 pound class. Also, outside and inside, there are big schools of jacks roving around. Some anglers got into them with the flies and couldn't hold them. Some guys really worked hard and got some excellent jack crevalle. The bottom was also really, really good this week. There were pompano on the table, barb pargo, cabrillo, wachinanga, you name it. All in all, an excellent week.
Well, you're not kidding, Gary. That's how it's supposed to be, man. That's great fishing. I mean, across the board, just about every category sounds like there's fantastic fishing going on.
Yeah, well, this week was just great. In particular, the guys that came down to catch a dream rooster, they were rewarded with some whoppers.
That's awesome. Well, certainly some really good fishing. If somebody wants to strike while the iron's hot and get in on some good fishing right now, are there any opportunities to come stay down at the ranch?
Yes, I think we have a little bit of availability for the rest of this month. If you get on our 800 number, 646-2252, or just jump onto our website, rancholeonero.com, and follow the instructions from there.
That's awesome. Well, certainly really, really good fishing going on right now, Gary. An awesome report. Glad to hear about the tuna being close and the marlin and everything filling in. That's just awesome. Well, glad to hear it. Glad we had such a great fishing week, and we'll look forward to hearing another one next Sunday.
Excellent. Look forward to it, guys.
All right, Gary, thanks a lot for the phone call and the report. Let's jump into the phones. They are packed up solid, and talk to Gus, who's calling us from Burbank this morning. Good morning, Gus. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Yo, you guys.
Hey, good morning, Gus.
Listen, I've been hearing more talk about poppers this year than almost any year that I've ever heard on Let's Talk Hookup. Are you using the poppers only for the bluefin, or are you using poppers on other species?
Well, we've been using them primarily on bluefin this year. I mean, I would say in the past it's been mostly yellowfin that we fish a popper for, and I can't really think. I was just thinking about it now, thinking about the last time we had. Obviously, we've never had fish like this, but, thinking about 100-pounders before bluefin, I'm almost positive I can remember a time about probably 12 or so years ago on the Apollo where we caught one on a popper. But I can't remember a time before that where we were catching bluefin on poppers. And I don't, a lot of times by the time we get bluefin, it's maybe been messed with a little bit by boats down below, so maybe it doesn't bite as well. But I can't remember a time where we were catching bluefin on poppers. And, I mean,
yeah,
Rick?
I think what's going to be cool, Gus, is traditionally it's a yellowfin thing. I mean, and we've been discussing it at the shop. Like, man, how tight. As you guys all know, I'm sure. I mean, the popper was the way to catch it. It's not like that was any secret. And in the tackle store, like it was difficult to get poppers. Fortunately, working with Doug Kern, he's like the guru when it comes to that. And we had it all year long, which was not an easy thing to do. But what we're all pretty certain is going to happen is, there's no question that that's about as fun of a way that you could ever get a bite on a fish ever. And traditionally, the yellowfin bite them quite a bit better than a bluefin does. And I think that now that a lot of us have gone out and maybe bought a couple of poppers or maybe even bought a rod and reel and a rig to get it, when this yellowfin gets on us good, it's as fun a fishing. It's as fun a fishing as it comes. So I would say that I don't think the popper thing is going anywhere for a while. Just it's a fun way to fish them, and honestly, they don't traditionally bite them that well, and that's why we don't fish them. The fish is just set up unique, and it's all in those big meatballs of anchovy, and they're up splashing around, and it's just not something that we traditionally do all that much out here.
And in relation to this bigger bluefin, I mean, number one, we haven't had the opportunity, number one, and then number two, it's, I don't know. I mean, is it just like one day a guy went out and got one on the popper, so we kind of got into the idea, we should try this, or it's just one of those kind of evolutions that's kind of happened, at least
right now,
at least knowledge-wise this year, and I mean that's what's cool about fishing is things are, we're learning every day and figuring new things out every day, how to maybe approach something a little bit differently to get a better chance of getting a bite.
With as good as the fishing was and still is on the popper, we were almost bummed because, like you said at the beginning of the show, this bluefin has been around since April, and it's been really good. It's been really good skiff fishing, too, for those things, and we caught all of our fish on the surface iron because that was the way to get them. The spots were up, and you cast your surface iron, and that was the way to catch them. And when the popper thing became like, oh, man, they really bite these things good, if you would fish a surface iron next to a popper, the bites on the popper were literally like 5-1. So you were almost bummed knowing, man, if we would have been fishing this since April, like think about how much better the fishing could have been. But like you say, that's the fun of the whole thing. It's new and it's different, and I'll tell you, Gus, there's nothing. I hope you've seen that video, because just like it, there's nothing like watching a giant one blow up on that thing.
Well, I'll be watching it as soon as we hang up, that's for sure.
All right, Gus. Will that answer your question for you?
It sure does, Rick. Thank you very much.
All right, Gus. Appreciate the phone call very much. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more great information. We're going to check in with the Catch Report, find out what's biting up and down the beach. You stay tuned. Lots of Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the Mighty 1090.
Your hook is one of the most important parts of your fishing tackle, and that is why you should use the hook that sets the standard for quality and innovation. Gamakatsu, as Japan's leading hook manufacturer and growing at an amazing pace, Gamakatsu is responsible for introducing a unique tempering process to give Gamakatsu hooks superior strength and durability. Plus, the conically needle-honed points stay sharp. Gamakatsu offers a hook for every fishing situation, including the finest one-piece ringed hooks, light wire, standard and heavy-duty live bait hooks, and the popular Nautilus circle hooks. Get Gamakatsu hooks at your favorite tackle store and stay connected to that fish of a lifetime.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
The main emphasis on the ranch, we're going to keep it old style. We're not going to change anything. We're just going to improve what we have. The kitchen is brand new kitchen this year with all new kitchen equipment, new stoves, ovens. We put a new freezer in. We've put in all brand new split air conditioners with thermostats to make sure every room is cold. We've also worked on the boat fleet with a couple large lures, a 31 and a 34. We've got the largest Super Ponga fleet on the East Cape, all with brand new Yamaha motors. Brand new beds. We've got all Serta beds, the best beds in Baja, I kid you not. We're working all the time at the ranch. We're not changing it, just making it a lot better. That's why we get the high TripAdvisor reviews. It's my responsibility. I got to take care of you. I'll personally guarantee your best fishing experience and vacation at Rancho Leonero. RanchoLeonero.com. Our new reservation phone number is 800-646-2252, 646-BAJA.
If the fish are biting, I'm on my boat, rain or shine. Of course, I wear my life jacket. It's like wearing a seatbelt. Clip it on, grab my tackle box, and hit the water.
Love California, vote California, save California. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
All right, it's time for our 60-second On the Water seminar with our PowerPro tip of the week. And I will say there was one thing. We're talking about all this big fish and talking about this bluefin and casting poppers. And one of the things that has made this possible is having a PowerPro line. You know, you need to fish a small enough reel that's comfortable and fits in your hand and is able to cast a popper. But with that and trying to take a big fish, line capacity becomes a serious issue. And if it weren't for PowerPro, we just frankly wouldn't have the amount of line to be able to take a big fish. And the biggest advancement lately is that PowerPro Max Quattro. If you're not familiar, PowerPro Max Quattro is a line that's 25% smaller in diameter, same braking strength, same good casting feel, but it's the 65-pound is the size of 50. So now you're able to stack a lot more line in the reel, hold what it takes to take a big fish. Check it out. If you're not familiar already, go look at it at your local tackle store. PowerPro Max Quattro. For more information, you can check out PowerPro.com.
Cast Tours is a family-owned and operated travel company that specializes in taking you to great fishing destinations. They take pride in providing the best and most affordable vacation packages available. For over 20 years, Cast Tours has been creating unique sport fishing and vacation trips. Whether it's a fishing trip, a family vacation, or an adventure, they will provide you the service and value you deserve. Call Cast Tours at 800-593-6510 or check casttours.com.
XEPRS 1090 AM Rosarito, Baja California.
You're listening to the home of the 2016 All-Star Game. San Diego's sports leader, the Mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. As promised, it's time to find out what's biting out there. It is time for the Catch Report, which today is sponsored in part by Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. Get the absolute finest fish processing while you wait from your local, your long range, or your private boat trip. They have taken the San Diego processing business to all new levels with their superior service, superior product, and those killer innovations like pre-booking your orders. They got those killer tuna burgers and jerky. Nobody has better service than the entire crew at Fisherman's Processing, and I know that they've got a very busy day today. There's a lot of long-range boats going in, and it's amazing how fast those guys can get same-day service turned out. Nobody like them at Fisherman's Processing. If you want more info, you can friend them on Facebook at Fisherman's Processing, or for more details, check fishermansprocessing.com. Let's find out what's going on the water. Going up to Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, talk to the man. Captain Brian Woolley's on the line. What's up, Woolley?
Hey, good morning, Rick. Drew, what's happening, guys? How are you?
Morning.
Doing great, Brian.
Good. Well, hey, we had some good conditions this week. Things lined up for us real nice. Our water temps stayed steady for us finally. We fished 70 to 72-degree water pretty much all week. We had some good downhill current, too, which really got things going for us. With that being said, the fishing along the beach was exactly what you'd expect for July. Phenomenal flyline calico bass fishing along the various kelp lines up here. Both the flyline anchovy and sardine produce some real good counts as the bass are active, as they're getting ready to spawn here. Yesterday alone, we released over 1,200 bass for our fleet, so those things are chewing big time. The surface iron, Rick, getting bit big time. Super fun fishing on the surface iron.
That's so
Swim
cool.
baits, jerk baits, just everything's catching fish right now. So to go along with the bass, too, we've seen some good bonitos start to fill in as well, and we're seeing more and more yellowtail do the same along those different kelp lines. So the fishing this week locally was perfect pace for the new angler, or if you're looking to get a couple kids out on the water while they're enjoying their summer break. It was just perfect speed, easy to get bit, and it was satisfying at the same time. Out at the island here at Catalina, Rick on his 5-to-5 trips aboard the Fury continues to tap into that real good calico bass fishing over there. And they've definitely had their shots at some of that mixed grade yellow that's been moving around the island as well. So they kind of sprinkle in a few cuda and some mixed sheephead and perch and stuff like that. And it makes for a real good all-day trip over there at the island. So full swing up here this week, multiple trips every day from, morning half days, 3/4 days, twilights. We even have our first session of our Dana Wharf Summer Kids Camp kicking off on Monday. That stuff sold out. We have 2 different sessions, and they sold out super quick, as you'd imagine. So we're stoked. Things are lined up for them to have a real good week on the water as well. So if you guys want to jump on a trip with us, definitely reservations are the way to go. You need to save your spot.
Willie,
Go ahead.
Go
for it.
No, please. I was just going to say the switch is just turned on. I mean, that's just awesome to hear that it's. I mean, every trip virtually from the 3/4 days and the half days, and it's just this is how it's supposed to be. The switch is definitely on at Dana Wharf.
No doubt. I mean, our counts, we went from like 500 released bass consistently to 1,200 almost overnight, So those things definitely the switch is on, and the local bass guys are all about it. So thanks for that. Call the office, guys. You got to save a spot. The number there is 949-496-5794. And then we also urge you guys to take advantage of the Let's Talk Hookup discount right on the front page of their website there.
Yeah,
got a Dana Wharf battery and banner ad.
Jump on hookup1090.com. It's super easy to see right on the front page. You click it, basically gives you a code, and you save a bunch of money just going fishing. There's no like you were saying last week there. There's no limit. It's just a good way to save some bucks and go fishing and have some fun.
Exactly. I mean, who doesn't like to save a few bucks? So take advantage of it, use it, and get out on the water. Certainly now's the time. So thanks for the time this morning, guys. Enjoy the show, and we'll talk to you next week, Rick.
Awesome, Willie. Great report. Appreciate that. Sounds like you guys having fun, and I'll bet you're going to continue it this week. Appreciate the phone call very much. Well, still waiting to hear from our surf guru, Gundy Gunderson. I'm sure we'll be getting our surf fishing report before long. So in the meantime, we're just going to jump right back into the phones. They're packed up. Everybody wants to talk to Drew, and we're going to talk to John, who's gone to some Long Beach this morning. Hi, John. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning. Great show as usual.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, I fished on the Queen when it was up here in Long Beach when Eddie McEwen was running it, and some of the best trips I ever went on in the late 60s to mid-70s were on that boat, I'll tell you.
Nice. That's cool, John.
It's a great boat. One question I have now, what kind of rods are you using to throw the poppers with? I've been fishing like 55 years, and like a lot of us old fogies, we've never fished with those things before.
Well, it's we're fishing with Aluas, and we're fishing with a bigger, well, not a bigger reel, but probably a little bit bigger than what we're used to, a 2-speed Talica 12, and we're filling it up with 80-pound Spectra and a top shot of like 150 pound, just like a 2-foot top shot. So it's
yeah, that's what I was wondering, if you're doing Spectra with just like a top shot leader on it, and out of fluoro or mono, or what do you use for that?
Either or. We've been using both. I don't think one or the other has been really making a huge difference, but yeah, just something heavier. So because a lot of these fish, if you hook it on, say, 80-pound mono, there's a good chance as soon as he bites it, he's going to bite through the line right away. And we've seen that. We've had some of these fish they're so big they wolf that popper down, and they get sawed off right away just from the teeth that they have. And they don't have huge teeth, but they're sharp, and they wear on that line a little bit. And so we've seen that where we've had guys that have been fishing with, I would say, anywhere from 50 to 80 pound line, and they get sawed off pretty quickly. So that's why we're going with a heavier top shot. And it's not an easy task casting 80 pound Spectra on a 10-foot rod with a popper. I mean, it takes some practice and getting used to, and a lot of backlash is pulled out, and it's work for sure.
The thing that's been kind of crazy about this particular fishing that we're doing right now is that there isn't a black or white, right or wrong piece of gear for it, and it's a total balance. I mean, you're trying to catch a fish that's as big as 200 pounds, and you're also trying to cast a piece of plastic, and the two things that do each of those are just at the extreme opposite spectrums of each other.
Well, I think too, we're just so used to conventional reels.
Yeah.
I would say you get one of those,
Stellas.
super nice spinning rods for someone that maybe can't cast as well with a conventional reel, something like that, and it's going to give everybody a much better chance of getting to the fish, number one, and then having the opportunity to hook it, because that's the hardest part, is hooking it. And you would think a 200 pounder, the hardest part is catching it. Well, that is hard.
Yeah.
It's a different type of hard, but hooking it is extremely hard.
Well, I got a 190 big eye in the 85-86 El Nino in early September, and that was on a 9/0 pin coffee grinder with straight 60-pound Maxima. Mono. So yeah, it's changed a little bit. That's for sure.
There's no doubt about that. It's been fun. Well, I appreciate the phone call very much, John, for sure. And you're definitely right about the spinning reel thing. I mean, I know Dave Pfeiffer and Jimmy Kingsmill and some of those guys that are really on it. There's been a lot of big ones that are now being caught with that particular gear. It's not cheap, and the only problem that exists with spinning gear is this is the extreme class of big fish, and so to do it right, the only problem that exists in spinning tackle is making torque and making power, and it is so much easier for the guys to have power and torque out of a conventional reel than it is out of spinning, and that type of power and torque does exist, but it doesn't come at an inexpensive price tag, and there is a ton of reels that Shimano makes, and as well as other manufacturers, that will take 50 and 60-pound tunas on poppers, no problem. But when you start getting into 100 and 150 pounders and 200 pounders, you need that power and torque. You need a Stella or a Twin Power, and when you get that right reel, right rod, right line, you're totally right. I mean, there's Gucci spinning tackle that absolutely will handle it. I mean,
and I'm not super familiar with all that as much, but I just know that if you have one of those, I mean, just the castability of it.
Sure.
It gives the average angler that maybe can't cast as well, that's not doing it every single day, an opportunity at one of those fish. And so, it's super expensive, but if you're, putting the time in and the effort to go out and do it, it's going to make things night and day better.
No doubt. Well, that's a good call. Well, hey, let's continue on with our catch report. We're going to hit the surf. Our surf guru, Gundy Gunderson, is on the line. What's up, Gundy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Doing great.
I don't have those sort of problems with my little spinning reels.
Plenty of torque for a Corvina?
Yeah, but I tell you, with some of the quality of fish this week, you're still going to get pushed around on that light tackle. Let me start up north. Santa Barbara, that halibut bite continues up there. East Beach, Graveyards, Goleta, the harbor mouth, all kicking out fish. And they're reporting like 1 to 4 ratio, every 4 fish you're getting illegal, and that's terrific fishing. The key, moving around those flash minnows, sexy smelts in the hot color, and moving around with those hard jerk baits. You don't want to stand in one spot, you just got to keep covering ground, and it's a very aggressive way to fish, but you're just combing over the areas, and you're looking for those aggressive fish, so you got to keep moving when you fish like that. The grunion have been staging, too, for the final grunion run here. That's perked things up inside. Wiley's reported excellent bite on 2 to 4 pound calico bass, a few kickers in the 5 pound range. The bait guys are using squid. the smell pattern swim baits, grunion pattern swim baits, jerk baits been working real good for the guys rock hopping. Piedra, Matador, Pescador, all good spots. Best Corbina action on the coast, that South Bay area again. 3-pound, 8-ounce fish was taken off Torrance there on a fresh mussel. And it's been some of the best Corbina fishing they've seen in several seasons there. All 2 to 4 pound fish, and like I said, some fish pushing that 5-pound mark. Hogan's and Dana Point reported wide open spot fin bite this week, and this is one of my favorite fish to fish for, and one of the best areas to fish for them when they're biting. The harbor, the jetties, inside the harbor mouth, Doheny, Pochi, San Clemente Pier, Cottons, all Old Man's Trails, all the spots are kicking out fish, 2 to 4 pound class, several fish in the 5-pound range, mussels, shrimp, lugworms, all working. Pacific Coast also reported terrific spot fin action. The lagoons, harbor, beaches, tabletops has been a spot that's been good in particular. 2 to 4 pound average, 2 fish over 6 pounds in the last couple of weeks there. So terrific spot fin action, and I think we're pumping on all cylinders on the beach right now, and it'll just get better as we move through the summer here.
You know, we've been talking about it now all morning. Like when the switch seems to turn on, it just turns on everywhere. I mean, we heard about that great fishing that is going on offshore, and then hearing Wooly talk about how good the bass fishing is up at Dana Wharf, and now hearing how good it's been in the surf. It's just, this is a good time to be a fisherman, Gundy.
Yeah, it's been uneven, you know, but now we're inconsistent, and that's when they bite.
That's it. Like it. Well,
all right, gentlemen, have a good week. Enjoying the show.
I appreciate it, Gundy. Thanks a lot for the report, as always. We sure appreciate that. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. We got another full hour of your phone calls. Lots of great information coming up. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup with Captain Drew Carter, the Pacific Queen. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
Tell him I'm sick. Let's talk candidly about long-range fishing. This is Captain Frank LaPresti of the Royal Polaris and the Shogun. Nowhere on Earth will you find a fleet of long-range boats like we have in San Diego. We are fortunate to have several top-notch operations to take you to the most productive fishing grounds in the world. We all offer good food, comfortable staterooms, huge bait capacity, and top-of-the-line fish-finding electronics. So why would you choose the Royal Polaris or the Shogun for your next long-range trip? What sets us apart from the rest? It's pretty simple. The boats, the crew, and the service. From the moment you arrive at Fisherman's Landing, the service begins. We help you load your gear and do everything possible to get beginners or seasoned veterans ready to catch fish. When it's time to fish, the Royal Polaris and the Shogun have the edge there too, delivering the 2 best fishing platforms in the fleet. But don't take my word for it. Come fishing with us. If you want the best, it's Royal Polaris and the Shogun. For more information, call 619-226-8030 or on the web at royalpolarissportfishing.com or shogunsportfishing.com.
For decades, the Kona Kai has been considered San Diego's premier marina, resort, and spa. Now, with millions of dollars in upgrades, the Kona Kai Resort is a destination for travelers worldwide who can live it every day. The docks and services are the finest quality in San Diego, and the Kona Kai is the closest marina to the open ocean. As a marina tenant, you enjoy many benefits, including secured free parking, a deluxe health club, swimming pool, and more. Enjoy discounts at their restaurant, bar, and hotel. If you don't have a boat, there are memberships available at a very affordable price. The Kona Kai Club has been offering members a home away from home since 1953. Members can spend their days on Kona Kai's private beach, meet new people in the club's modern lounge, share a meal with family at Vessel Restaurant and Bar, or pamper themselves in Spa Terra. Check out ResortKonakai.com on the web for more information, to reserve a slip, or inquire about joining the club. The Kona Resort, like being on vacation every day in your own backyard. What a tuna and yellowtail season last year. Many say the best in 30 years. Could this season be even better? Don't be caught without the right gear. Now is the time to stock up on the trolling lure that proved to be the best. X-Rap Magnum by Rapala. Every X-Rap Magnum runs perfect right out of the box. They all have extreme action and a controlled deep diving aggressive swimming motion. The large diving lip partners with premium VMC hooks and an irresistible rattle. The X-Rap Magnum by Rapala can be trolled at high speeds without rolling trolling or kicking out at depths to 15 feet. Bottom line, the X-Rap Magnum is the ultimate trolling lure for Southern California and Baja saltwater fishing. With a textured translucent body, internal holographic foil, and 3D holographic eye, X-Rap Magnums are irresistible to saltwater game fish. Available in a variety of colors and sizes. No matter what you choose, the fish can't resist X-Rap Magnum by Rapala. Ask your local tackle dealer which is the hottest color and size and start catching more fish. See the entire line at rapala.com.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
You're listening to the home of the 2016 All-Star Game. San Diego sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Great boats, free parking, and a fully stocked tackle shop. Just a few of the reasons Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top charter boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Eclipse, Apollo, Outer Limits, Pacific Star, El Gato Dos, Alexis, Pride, Privateer, Tribute, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth Sea Watch in San Diego offer the finest half, 3/4, and full-day trips available. Check out the full-service tackle store at Seaforth Sport Fishing. And it's all run by fishermen for fishermen. 1717 Quivira Road, just off Mission Bay Drive in Mission Bay. Book online at seaforthlanding.com.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
Rancho Leonero is very family-oriented. People have brought their children down, and now they're bringing their children. It's not unusual to have 3 generations of family at the hotel. Grandpa, Dad, and normally sons, sometimes daughters. The families come back year after year, and it's a safe place for the kids. It's small, it's intimate, right on the water, 2 miles of beachfront. The water's very shallow in front. There's no currents to speak of, no waves. We have childcare, $10 a day for a babysitter. Security is high at Rancho Leonero. It's really unnecessary, but it adds up comfort level. And we really do encourage the families. It's a great place for family reunions, family get-togethers, weddings. We do it all. 1-800-646-2252, 646-BAJA. And RanchoLeonero.com. There's nowhere that I could think of to have the same atmosphere and the same experience that you get at Rancho Leonero. We love families.
Last year, we had an unbeatable fishing season, one of the best in decades. I think we'll all take another year just like it. Now, just imagine what it could be like if we have an unbeatable season 39 years in a row. Well, that's exactly what Ford has done with their F-Series pickups, America's best-selling trucks 39 years in a row. We love our F-150s here in San Diego. Ford trucks give you the freedom to launch your boat with ease thanks to Pro Trailer Backup Assist, the freedom to toss all your gear in the bed no matter how wet and messy it gets, and the freedom to fit 5 full-size guys comfortably in the cab. And right now, during the Ford Freedom Sales Event, you'll get the freedom from interest charges with Ford's best finance rate of the year. Freedom from high monthly payments thanks to special summer lease programs, plus the freedom to save even more on trucks with smart bonus tags. It's an incredible combination of savings on an incredible lineup of trucks. So don't miss the Ford Freedom Sales Event. Stop by your San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up.